The thread comes from Hogbeat, and Kyle Sutherland from the Hogbeat staff posted Chris Lowe's excellent On3 story about Bobby Petrino as the interim coach at Arkansas. And the headline sums it up very nicely. Surreal or not, Bobby Petrino is back leading Arkansas, but for how long? You can hit that QR code if you're watching on the video version of the podcast, and you can read Chris's story as we talk about it. Great story from Chris. He talked to former Petrino players. He talked to Petrino, and it really does kind of lay out the terms here where Bobby Petrino has an opportunity to get this job that he left in disgrace, essentially, after the motorcycle accident, providing a great Halloween costume for our producer, River Bailey, years later. But this is a chance for him to, I guess, it's not going to wipe all that away, Ari, but he can be Arkansas's full-time head coach again. He just has to win against what looks like an impossible schedule.
Yeah. Also, I think that River fumbled the bag a little bit because when you said we're going to be talking out a familiar face, he should have just immediately put his Halloween costume up on the screen. Not him.
It's Bobby. Let's see. There it is. There it is.
He looks more like Bobby than Bobby does. That's you did well. You knew your way around the makeup there. Yeah. So how many do you think he needs to win?
So I think if he can go 4-3 against this schedule, I mean, I'd hire anybody who could go 4-3 against this schedule, especially with the defense they have. Now, remember, Bobby Petrino fired the defensive staff and revamped that. So perhaps the defense will be better, but it didn't change the personnel. So I'm not super optimistic. But here is the schedule. At Tennessee, Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, at LSU, at Texas, Missouri. If you go 4-3 against that, by God, give the man the job.
Yeah. It's just a fascinating blast from the past. And I think that alone makes watching the Tennessee game just worth watching, right? I mean, you want to see what it looks like. And the thing that is interesting to me, Andy, is that the man has a tryout as head coach, but they didn't do a ton of scoring with him as the offensive coordinator in big moments this year either. So, how do you make a distinction?
Yeah, they have. What are you talking about? They didn't against Notre Dame. They did against Ole Miss.
Notre Dame is what I was referring to. But
they scored enough against Memphis. They should have won. They were fumbling going in to win the game. Like that, they fumbled against Ole Miss. They had a chance to win against Ole Miss. They've played well offensively. Taylor Green's been good. Omega Blake has been excellent. He's already caught 30 balls for 400 yards. They can move the ball. And the question is, can they move the ball enough against Tennessee? A Tennessee team, by the way, that will be looking for revenge. Remember, Tennessee went to Fayetteville last year and lost. Tennessee's offense couldn't do anything against this defense. Travis Williams, the since fired defensive coordinator at Arkansas, called the Tennessee offense predictable after this. I'm telling you right now, even though the architect of that is gone now and is fired and is not going to be there, I guarantee you Josh Heupel and Tennessee want to stand on business here. You remember Missouri when Eli Drinkins went up to Heupel and said, "We stand on business, Josh." I believe Josh would like to stand on business against the Arkansas defense because the Arkansas defense did embarrass them last year, and now they have a chance to severely embarrass the Arkansas defense.
Yeah, and Tennessee is kind of just faded away into obscurity for some reason ever since they played Georgia. And I know 1 week was a bye week, and
well, they won in overtime against Mississippi State. That was a game we were all watching. I think Tennessee is still a playoff contender. Nothing about that loss to Georgia suggests to me that they're just going to lose a couple more games and that'll be it. I think Tennessee's pretty good and has a really legitimate chance to make the playoff.
I mean, the toughest proposition for Bobby Petrino in his first test as the new head coach is the fact that Tennessee has scored 40 or more points in every game they've played so far. And they scored 70 in the overmatched opponent game, and they scored 56 against UAB, 45 against Syracuse. If they can score 50 points, that's just a reoccurrence of what happened at Notre Dame. And part of the reason, I guess, when I misspoke earlier, that Arkansas didn't score a ton of points against Notre Dame was the fact that they were going for it on fourth down in the red zone a few times and just couldn't get into the end zone.
They couldn't. They could not stop Notre Dame, so they go for every.
Move the ball against Notre Dame. But so to me, Tennessee is every bit as interesting in this matchup as Arkansas. And if Arkansas can give Tennessee a game, then that's a pretty nice tell for the head coach. And, obviously too, like when you revamp some of your staff, I know you don't change personnel, Andy, but a large part of being a head coach in college football is your ability to make good hires. And if you made the right hires right out of the gate in a pretty tough situation and at least improve the defense, that's probably a pretty good sign too.
And
you're going to know
seen,
whether they hit or not.
Yeah, we've seen where a coordinator got fired, somebody from on staff came up and did a great job with that unit. We just saw Saturday? It happen with UCLA.
Yeah, like on Saturday. Yeah.
They fire Tino Sunseri. They make Jerry Neuheisel the play caller, and all of a sudden UCLA is beating Penn State. So,
the thing
but I will say
about that, Andy, is that UCLA couldn't do anything against anyone all year. And then they ran like goat through a tin horn on one of the best defenses in college football. That to me is made up. Like that's not the standard here.
Let's talk about Brunt Workwear. Look at that beautiful boot. This thing is designed for whatever you throw at it because Brunt isn't designed to be a fashion brand. It's not like a lot of the boot companies that have gone from being a work brand to being, I want to wear you to look good. No, Brunt, you're going to look good, but it's also functional. It'll survive whatever you throw it at it, and it's comfortable for an entire day of work. So go to bruntworkwear.com for durable, reliable workwear. Use the code ON3 to get $10 off. So that's ON and the number 3 to get $10 off. I'm telling you right now, these things, your feet will thank you. They last all day, super comfortable. And then it doesn't matter if you're in the mud, if you're in the snow, if you're in the rain, they're ready to stand up to it. Bruntworkwear.com. Use the code ON3 to get $10 off.
What you're looking for is marginal improvement, I think, if you're an Arkansas fan. Whatever happened there.
I think the problem is this Tennessee offense is really potent. And Joey Aguilar has been awesome. Chris Brazel's been awesome. The line has protected. And Aguilar right now, 102 of 157, 1,459 yards, 13 TDs, 5 picks. Chris Brazel, 31 catches, 531 yards, 7 TDs already.
Do you know what we messed up on? Or I always do that. I lump you in with my idiocy. But our number one Tennessee talking point in the offseason, you want to talk about things that we were wrong about, was their question mark at receiver. Not only
working pretty well for them.
It's working out great. They've got 2 guys that are producing at a pretty high level. Obviously, Mike Matthews was somebody that we were really going to watch. He has 22 receptions for 370 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 16.8 yards per reception. And then Brazel, of course, goes without saying. They have 2 legitimate studs at receiver that are getting open downfield and a quarterback that's delivering them the ball, which wasn't happening a year ago.
Yeah.
So, if Arkansas's defense is leaky, and we know that it is, and it hasn't improved or, improved just a little bit, Tennessee's going to drop 50 in this game.
Yeah. So Tennessee's a 12.5-point favorite. I like Tennessee to cover here. I think that it's interesting because you talk to different people about the Petrino situation, and some people say, they fired Sam Pittman when they did to give Bobby Petrino a chance. And I know Bobby Petrino has a significant amount of support among influential Arkansas people. But I think there also is a group that would rather he didn't get the job. And I think the timing of Sam Pittman's firing was so that he would have to face this gauntlet and that it would keep him from getting the job. But what's interesting about that is it's essentially the ultimate test, because if he's good, yes, by all means, if you can beat the teams we're talking about, if you can beat a Tennessee or a Texas A&M or a Texas or an LSU, you should get the job. And then if you can't, they'll go find somebody who can, who they feel like can. I think that's the fairest way to do it. He's going to have a shot, and it starts at Neyland Stadium this weekend. So,
do you know what I don't know, and you probably have a better handle on than I do? What does the general Arkansas fan feel about this? It's funny. We like laughing about the neck brace, but do Arkansas fans have fond memories and are wanting to recreate them, or do they want separation from this and something new? What do you think
they liked? They liked the success when he was there. They could have done without the drama, but they liked the success. So I think there's a good group of, good chunk of Arkansas fans rooting for him. But there are probably some other ones that would like to just kind of move on and try to start a new era. So it's not a cut and dried thing. And I also think he can win those fans by winning games. He will lose those fans by losing games.
Are there any instances in the encyclopedia of college football that you would have in the top of your brain of coaches who left a program in a somewhat disgraceful way who returned and were successful, or is this like an unprecedented situation?
Bobby Petrino going back to Louisville. It wasn't super disgraceful, but remember, he had lied to them about the meeting with Auburn and all that. So, and Tom Jurich was the AD for both when he left and when he came back. And the Tom Jurich press conference introducing him was like surreal because it was like, yeah, I don't know if I like this guy, but he's a coach again. So,
all right, we'll stay tuned on Saturday. I mean, we got a game.
We shall see.